What's up, gamers? It's Koopa here, standing in Turbine's booth, which is a nice large section of Warner Brothers now. And I'm here with Aaron Campbell, senior producer on Lotro. So we got Rise of Isengard coming up September 27th.
Yeah, 10 new levels for players. We're going up. We've got 3 new regions, which is Dunland, the Gap of Rohan, and the Vale of Nancornir, where Isengard itself is. We have a brand new raid, which is a 24-person raid with a massive dragon. It's the biggest.
Gotta have massive dragons.
You do, and this is the largest creature we've ever put into the Lord of the Rings Online, so it's going to be fantastic.
So what do we got behind us? What are we overlooking here?
Right now we're in Galtrev, which is the new social center for the Isengard expansion. This is where players are going to find their friends, their bank, their trainers, and also get around throughout the area. In the distance there, we were just looking at a Gondorian ruin. So while we're in a Dunlanding village, there are many ruins and outcroppings of the older society, right? The society of man that had stretched the whole way up along the western and southern part of the Misty Mountains.
So if you're not level cap right now, obviously those 10 extra levels don't really do a whole lot for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that they're going to get right away? Like, you know, it's free to play, so if I start next week, is Rise of Isengard going to be a big deal to me in some fashion?
Absolutely. Well, if you pre-order, we have cosmetic armors, we have mounts, we have an item that will help boost your experience point gain while you move up to the Isengard content. If not, if you're jumping right in and you haven't gotten to that part of the content yet, we will have some changes to classes. So we have some updates to classes that help focus in even more on what your skills are, what your boosts are, helping those captains tank a bit more, but now with their own two-handed weapons, helping minstrels to heal more, giving hunters a bit more mobility. So different kind of things to keep those.
They really need more mobility?
Well, you know, they weren't quite overpowered enough as it is. We're also opening up the Ettenmoors. Monster Play to all free players, so we expect that PvP is going to be very well populated. A lot of people getting in there.
That was previously one of the things you had to buy, right?
Well, it's really one of the last systems that we haven't converted over to our hybrid model, right? To our model where lets people choose what parts of the game they're going to buy. So this is opening up and transitioning that system, adding a store for Monster players. It's going to be great. I think it'll be growing on that activity that's already there, and now the free players can go in, buy new classes, add new skills to those characters, and get out there and have a good time with it.
So you mentioned there's 3 new zones. How, you know, in the grand scheme of things, how much bigger does this make it?
Oh goodness. Well, what we're really doing is we're pushing to the borders of Rohan. So symbolically, that's a huge space for us, right? We're going right in, we're encountering the Rohirrim for the first time, we're going through a variety of Dunlanding tribes. In terms of raw quest content, this is 10 levels. So we're talking about on the scale of the Mines of Moria expansion. This is a big place, lots of things going on. And of course, the epic story continues to grow. So we're talking about at least 30 chapters in the new epic book.
Can we get a little taste of the story? Like, what's the reasoning we're venturing out finally?
Sure. Well, you've been journeying with the Grey Company, with Aragorn's kin, and at this point, they're entering into hostile territory they don't know well. So you're going to be their guide to some degree. At the same time, you're encountering the Rohirrim for the first time. So there are a lot of things for you to uncover, and most of them revolve around Saruman and Saruman's treachery. Because the extent of that treachery, the way that he's building up his armies to invade Rohan is still not well known. But you're going to go from, you know, the extremes of Dunland to find their secret camps, to the interior of Orthanc Tower itself and right to Saruman's doorstep.
Is there any additional guild features we can expect?
Which?
Kinship?
Something we'd love to do and something we still plan to be looking at. One thing we've already announced coming out later this year after the expansion ships is already 5 new instances. So we're planning to add new gameplay spaces, certainly looking at new ways for players to form and connect their groups.
It was actually a fairly old game at this point in time. Have you guys ever gone back to revisit some of these other old systems? I mean, you clearly have when you transition, but any further?
Yeah, no, I think that's a constant process for us. One of the big things we've done just in the last few months is go back to how items are generated and what kind of stats you can expect to get on those, how stats work. So we've removed stat caps from people's attributes, and additionally, we've changed a lot of the gear, especially gear going into the higher levels, to make sure you feel that progression as you get new equipment, and that continues to be something that'll help, you know, not only the story drive you forward, but you also have those items and that feeling of progression of power to drive you forward as well.
And I'm sure the community agreed with every single change.
The community has very strong opinions, and we listen to every one of them.
Yeah. And that's great. That's what fosters great communities. So, how has the game grown since making that transition?
Well, I think the change last year of adding a free-to-play option for players has brought a huge number of new players into the game. And I've spent a lot of my time this year, actually, in Europe and in Germany as part of our transition, bringing those European players in. That's another huge fan base, an active community that now is part of our global community. With our latest numbers, actually, Nielsen just reported that Lotro is the 4th most played PC game in North America, which is astounding to me, and
that's
I'm
huge.
Very pleased, yeah.
You can't ask for more, and hopefully the new expansion will increase that a little further.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to a great expansion and continuing the growth of Lotro.
So September 27th, Rise of Isengard. Get prepared.
All right.
Thanks so much.